Hi everybody, it's Evelyn. I have a twin flame read for you right now. There's a lot of codes and symbols that came through later in the read. I finished it this morning, so a lot of that came through this morning, so please stay through to the end if you can. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath first. Sending lots of love and blessings out to all of you. The energy's been really intense the past couple days. You know, you might be feeling some stress in your heart space. I've definitely been feeling that. The read in front of you is for the twins, so for both the masculine and the feminine. I cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck, which is the main deck for this read, at 527, which is the Hierophant of 5 and the 27 of the Ace of Wands, the ignition of new inspiration and passion. I finished clarifying at 550, which is the 5 of the Hierophant and the 50 of the 10 of Cups, that emotional fulfillment, the happy ending, or the end of an emotional cycle. The major arcana for this read were Ascension, which is the World, Shadow, the Devil, Hanging Man, the Star, and before the read, Abundance, which is the Empress, came up, and after the read, Solar Deity, the Sun, and Alchemy, which is Temperance, came up. We had 3 Pentacles, 2 Swords, 1 Cup, 1 Wand. So a lot of Pentacles here, which has to do with not just money, but time, money, and effort of day-to-day living. The Court cards, we had the Knight of Pentacles. That was the only Court card in the read, which in the SIRIAN Starseed deck is very much about passing 5D messages. Before the read, the Page of Pentacles came up, right? The student or the child or the opportunity, invitation. After the read, the Page of Cups came up, as well as the King of Wands, which is the shaman in this deck. We had double ones, double twos, double threes. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, jump. Again, the quantum leap definitely came up in the read today. We had 11 of Justice, 22 of the Fool, 33 of the Christ vibration, the 7 of Wands. Also 4 of the Emperor and 8 of the Strength card. And in a lesser sense, we had 34 of the 8 of Wands, 23 of the King of Wands, definitely came up significantly in this read, 48 of the 8 of Cups, Walking Away Within, and then 8, 9, 10, Begin Again and Again and Again. And again, the Phi energy of expansion and contraction. The code line here was all about relationship change, love, physical activities, and adventure. So very much about relationship. And the code line was all about the number 15, which is the devil or the shadow, coming from 8, 4, 2, and 1. Okay, so the code line here, and also the relationship change, love, physical activity, and adventure, all got broken up. So we had like relay, shun ship, change was like C and half of H. So I'm not going to go into all the specifics of that, but I'm going to give you a message from the breakdown of all those words. So first, from relationship change, love, physical activity, and adventure, it was first starting up as relating to the gang advertising, right? So the media out there, the low trunk hip, right? So a low center of gravity, to abandon or turn their back on the expansion of love. All right, so that there may be some stuff coming up regarding the media and the fall of the media, or in other words, the light within the media community coming out to expose the dark, which is definitely coming up this year. And then, and then expanding on that, relating to gang advertising and low trunk or hips, or considered unusable, right? Because the center of gravity is too low to the ground. Turning the back on the expansion of love, the sheet of lightning without the alky, which can represent alkaline or alcohol, with the 9 came up here, the number 9 again. The 9 knights on horses, the 9 paths, right? The 9 is also the collective consciousness. So regarding the collective of knights and horses, the Knights of the Round Table, the 9 paths, being close to the border or the edge, the boundary line, the horizon, the TV of the telepathic vision, and the hemming and hawing and edgy and covering with perhaps covering yourself up with your full name, right? Perhaps using another name, or a wild goat was coming up here, right? So this could be like, a Capricorn gone rogue. The run, the stroll, the divine, the dance, right? Covering up, using a cover, perhaps when you're insecure, or an excuse, to go take a stroll. Come take a walk with me. Come dance with me. Needing something to break the ice. Putting your butt out there, using luck and tower, right? That sudden event of the tower coming in. So you're going to see all sorts of things playing out right now. To the nth degree, to see to the nth degree. So we're saying twice to the nth degree. To the nth degree, see to the nth degree. Source. The number 80 was coming up, and 84 after death. To ascending to the roadside shelter, right? The inn on the side of the road. And I always get the Happiness Inn from the Muppets movie, which is a roadside inn both for travelers and their animals, but also can be considered the Fleabag Hotel. The new life, the relationship change, love, physical activity, and then adventure as well. So to the nth degree, also Seth was coming up again, the third child of Adam and Eve. The strength and the dance of the 8, the dance between your own masculine and feminine within, and the toggling up of the Emperor, which has to do with control, right? Having control over everything, which ultimately is, there's only one in control, right? The collective Godhead, the Creator, after death. And then the 2 of the High Priestess in the ascension path. The 4 of the Emperor, the 2 of the High Priestess, the control, and then the other side of it, right? The 2 is the mediator, the one who can see both sides of the situation regarding ascension. And also I was just watching something from Magenta Pixie, where part of their conversation, it was a great talk from her too. She goes through Lemuria and Atlantis. It was a really good explanation. So if you want to check that out, I think that was her last video with the doctor she was talking to and his partner. So she was talking about the sine wave being the positive and the negative era, right? So we were just in a dark era, which would be the sine wave below the line, and then the light era, the age of Aquarius, being the 26,000 years or whatever it is above the line. So that was really cool, because as I got the messages towards the end of this read, that message totally came into what I was already doing. So it clarified some things as well. As I go into that, I'll show you. But the inn on the side of the road where travelers can bring their animals and hang out was getting that energy. Somebody might be wanting, a twin couple might be wanting to open an inn. And I was getting definitely an inn, like on a river with ducks and growing ginger, a place to eat. The Turkish energy of the ruler came up, but also the noble man of rank. The ear, the arm, the hand, the foreleg, the wing, and the branch were also coming up in this definition. To the nth degree, Seth, or Set. So Seth is the third son of Adam and Eve, but also Set is a ruler from, did I write down? It was thousands of years, BC. But Seth means the chosen one, the anointed. To the nth degree, the chosen one, the third son of Adam and Eve, the god of chaos also, and thunder and storms and destruction. Source 80, which 80 is source energy behind the 8 of the strength and the dance, but it's also the human embodiment of source before going into the dance of the 8, which is also, you notice, the hourglass, the 8, the X in the middle, the dance. Okay, so, and the plus sign and the X, both are important here, but they came up in the read yesterday or the day before, I forget which one it was. But I want you to note too that the X and the plus sign are not a quarter turn, but an eighth turn. And I brought that up before too, right? Going from the square, if you go a quarter turn, you just go back to the square again. But if you take the square and go an eighth of a turn, you go to the diamond. And then the diamond is balancing on one corner, right? Keeping their balls up in the air, the movement, the expansion, okay? So remember that visual, because that'll come into the symbols at the end. So 84 after death was coming up. So I looked that up. And there's actually a town in Pennsylvania, which I was unaware of, and I live in Pennsylvania. A town was called 84. And that was incorporated in July 28th, 1884. It was named something else, but then someone else, another place had already been named that. So they couldn't use that name. So they changed it to 84. It's southwest of Pittsburgh, and also relates to the 84 Lumber Company headquarters there. So lumber was coming up as well. A definition came up in the tree trunk, low to the ground, that just came up. The low trunk or the hips. The low part of the trunk isn't usable for timber because of the way the grain comes up. So here the 84 Lumber Company headquarters was coming up in 84 Pittsburgh. Also 84 after death was a leap year, and it's just from Wiktionary or Wikipedia. Also the construction of the limes, and lime came up as well before this. So limes was important here. The line of Roman fortifications from the Rhine to the Danube began. The change from the Jianchu to the Wan He era of the Chinese Eastern Han Dynasty, and Han came up here too. So the Han Dynasty was important here. Okay, so after death, 80 then came up, so I looked that up, and 30,000 Asians, tribesmen, migrate from the steppes, or the steppes, S-T-E-P-P-E-S, to the west with the 40,000 horses and 100,000 cattle, so the ox and the horses, the stags, joining Iranian tribesmen, and with Mongols from Siberian forest to form the group that will be or become known as the European, or known in Europe as the Huns. So we have the Han Dynasty coming up and the Huns. So then also during this time in 80, after death 80, was Yin, right? So in Yin Yang, Yin, the Chinese empress of the Han Dynasty. So it's like the change from 84 was the change from one Han Dynasty to another form of the Han Dynasty. And here is the former one of the Yin, right? The feminine energy of the Chinese empress of the Han Dynasty. And also that year in 80 is the Empress Titus completes and inaugurates, that word is a catchword there, the Colosseum with 100 days of games. The original Roman Pantheon is destroyed in a fire that year. All right, so there's the Olympics coming up, a plug to the Olympics, a plug to the inauguration, and a plug to the Han Dynasty as well as the Huns, right? So to the nth degree, the chosen one, Set, which is also Seti or Sethos I, which Sethos I would be in Greek, the pharaoh of the new kingdom of the 19th dynasty of Egypt, the son of Ramesses I and Sitra, and the father of Ramesses II. His capital was at Memphis, and this was around 1290 to 1279 BC. Also, October 11th, 2019, and I just brought up 10 to 11 yesterday in yesterday's read, where 10-2, right? 10 and 2 is the steering wheel, but 11 is also the number 2. It reduces to 2. So 10-11 was coming up again as that 10 and 2 steering committee, but this is just the date, 10-11-2019. Lancaster County man was charged with 84 counts of animal cruelty. His name was Seth Linz, he was 35, of Narvan, and arrested by the PA Society of Animal Cruelty Prevention. So then on 10/29/19, which just happens to be my son's birthday, 10/29, Jane Roberts channeled Seth, and this was an article from the New York Times from 60 years ago. She's written 20 books on her channelings from this place, and in 1984, so that 84 number is coming up, she died at the age of 55, which is the Ace of Swords, the truth. Then I put in this stuff because it came up from my code line. The number 8, the letter T, the number 4, the letters A, D, and then number 2. I put that in, and the site that came up, I couldn't read because it's in another language I'm not familiar with, but it's under Heppaza, Heppaza. And when you put in just even that word, it brings up a site, but when you open the site, it redirects to something totally different. It won't let you in. So anyone out there who investigates websites might want to check this out. So you can put in the code I just gave you, 8T4AD2, or Heppaza, Heppaza. It redirects, you'll see it, but then after a second or so, it redirects through a million different websites to another site, which is more generalized. So that came up from heppaza.blogspot.com, which redirects. So check that out. If you notice anything about that or find anything out, let me know in the comments. That would be very interesting. So this read starts with the Eight of Pentacles upright, right? So the person working with crystals here in the SIRIAN Starseed deck, we have the mini cards on top, and I went 5 cards down. 5. So 3 of Cups was reversed from the bottom up in the underlying energy. The Page of Pentacles upright, the 3 of Pentacles upright, Abundance reversed, which is the Empress, and the 10 of Pentacles reversed as well here, which is that wealthy family or dream family, but reversed. So obviously having issues. That can be a family loss, a death, big financial loss, or just making a big purchase as well, or a community or business that comes down. All of those things can come up under this kind of energy. So working after third party, Page of Pentacles perhaps, a student or child. That can be an earth sign child with pentacles. Opportunity at work perhaps, in lack, or the Empress reversed with the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, or community. So just as an example, one example of the Empress reversed with the 10 of Pentacles community is a death in the family, like my mother just passed away. So that could be that kind of energy. But it has multiple other meanings because the Empress is all about lack. It could be a boss that's out of control. Their business is going down. It could be a mother who's having a hard time with an injury or an illness, or just giving you a hard time and being mean to you and really difficult. So however that plays out for you, whether it's a family, business, or community problem, it has to do with dysfunction and loss. And there's definitely third-party interference here that can regard social distancing and bad influences and gossip as well. So third-party or bad influences with an opportunity to work, perhaps. This could be a child who may be offered a job, but to work with the Empress reversed and the 10 of Pentacles reversed, which may be bad influences for this child, and working to align. This also could be their own family, telling them they have to work for them. The Queen of Cups reversed, wounded warrior, guard, implementing a plan with social distancing, and the King of Swords reversed, at night with foolish behavior, or fell for something, or tripped up, or tripped while walking at night and fell, or is just lacking faith, guarding their old wounds. So this is the King of Swords reversed. So somebody, someone in the family or their community or business may have duped them, and he fell for it, right, into coming back to work with them or whatever the situation is. It doesn't have to be work. So that may have happened, or someone may have literally fell, or just is going through negative self-talk and lacking faith. Fath? I was just getting Seth again. Seth and Fath? Fatima. I don't know why Fatima is coming up. But yeah, if that comes up for anyone, let me know. Or just lacking faith, guarding old wounds, fighting to sleep, or conflicted by 5D connection with Sovereign upright and Emperor reversed, under arrest by his work, or Sovereign threatened by the Emperor reversed, or 3-1 seesaw of Grecian sandals and flowing materials without military or medical booties involved here, or work presented to the Emperor reversed and the Sovereign, who may be an intern or resident of the Emperor reversed. But the Emperor reversed is either someone out of control abusing their power, or someone in lack, either ego death, going through dark night of the soul, stepping down and retiring, or it can be someone who's sick or ill as well, or just having a hard time. But the Emperor's reversed here with the Sovereign upright, which is the independent, whether it's a child, whether it's a partner, whether it's the Divine Feminine. The Sovereign can be of any age, but it's just the feminine energy in their sovereignty completely. I always get the Nine of Cups more as the Sovereign masculine energy, right? Emotionally sovereign. Whereas the feminine is more in her financial sovereign, because it's not native to the feminine, right? Emotion's not native to the masculine. This is where their sovereignty has to happen. So the work presented to the Emperor reversed and the Sovereign, intern or resident, and the Page of Swords reversed may be rumors or negative self-talk, or a child with a mouth lying or spying for the Emperor reversed, not supporting the workplace or what he tabled or shelved, maybe now working without his help. So something he may have said they couldn't do, someone went off and did it on their own and is now being successful in what he said they wouldn't be able to do. It's kind of that energy. Or even someone who's retired, who doesn't want to have to keep coming back in to help the new people there. Maybe they're now able to do it on their own, and now he doesn't like that, right? He initially didn't want that, but now that they don't need him anymore, it's an ego thing going on here. So the Emperor reversed and the Page of Swords reversed, not expressing their true desires, or that could be a father and child or a grandfather and child arguing a lot, or his own frustrations or negative self-talk, because it's the Page of Swords reversed. That could be bad news or no messages, causing delays, perhaps by negative messages, or the Emperor's not retired, or is now retired, sorry about that, with a picture of his award or whatever final award he got at the end of his retirement, or workplace, some kind of degree or something like that, on a shelf for display. So something put on display here. But what does it really mean? It's like ending up after your 30 to 50 year career, and all it is something on a shelf. That's the energy I was getting from that. So life going on without him, perhaps someone with diabetes and or foot issues. Somebody could have their feet wrapped from diabetic ulcers. Also make an effort, and beneath that, express your love. The Hermit reversed, no longer missing their flame, or no surprise with all business bed partner with coffee bedside, and the Page of Cups reversed, no longer struggling for words with dysfunctional fantasy of family, business, or community, while in bed with partner, unfinished writings, I'll just get writings on the wall as well, but all feet, knees, and elbows. Fantasy isn't real as he pretends to be normal with all business partner, or going crazy, no surprise, working with spoiled, entitled child of 10 of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, or legacy, dysfunction, or dreamers. And that can be their perspective. It doesn't mean that they are dreamers, but it's the perspective of him here. So parenting comes up here as 63. 63 is the 9 of Swords, the suffering and silence, the nightmare. And then beneath that was healing of the 66, the Queen of Pentacles, helping to heal the suffering and silence of parenting here. And the Queen of Pentacles is, the ultimate parent. She's very grounded and stable and loving, right? Well-rounded. The Pentacles is the end of the cycle, so they've been through the Wands, the Cups, and the Swords to get to the Pentacles. So she's very well-grounded here. But maybe struggling with parenting right now as well. The Four of Cups is reversed here, starting over, left behind, exposing lack of peace, and walking away from patience with the King of Wands upright, which is the shaman in this deck, in the SIRIAN Starseed deck. Walking away from patience with the King of Wands, and that can be being patient as in not losing your temper, but also patience as in doctor and patience. That could be coming up here as well. Or Sagittarius, King of Wands, lobster claw is clamped, or legs clamped shut. The King of Wands on fire, so it looks like someone's like cut them off sexually. The King of Wands on fire and tired of all the crap left in the yard. Leo upright and Sagittarius upright here. The King of Wands working to align with the truth, the whole truth, and or presenting his findings at work, and or to dysfunctional fantasy family suffering in silence with parenting here. So they may be having trouble with their kids, or kids may be having issues. So new information or clarity for star, healer, or dreamer, or dream come true, implementing a plan with the Divine Feminine in 5D, while the Queen of Wands reversed looks the other way. And she's always coming. She doesn't have to look the other way. She could be looking at things, but she always comes up in the read as looking the other way where nothing's there to look at. The wounded warrior is seeing how it's done, dumping a load, the weight of the world, or a confession here. In the recent past is the Knight of Swords upright, passing 5D messages, grieving loss, regret, or the past, and disappointments and rejection, healing from sudden events, epiphanies, orgasm, blowing someone's top, crown, cover, or mind, coming clean, or cleaning up their act, or cleaning up their space or the mess. With the Ten of Cups, emotional fulfillment or happy ending, with the messenger of truth rushing in with a message. Three of Cups reversed, third party, choosing a new path. That can represent social distancing and bad influences as well. Overindulgers, all of that, partiers. But Three of Cups reversed ultimately means no joy. So the third party choosing a new path of injustice, or that could be Libra reversed. Defense to bliss of the Knight of Swords rushing in. The foundation being the Ace of Swords upright, the truth, the Excalibur, that's right there, that's been right there all along, with the King of Cups reversed, moving to peace under the radar or sailing away. Come sail. Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. So Sail Away is coming up, the song. The Hermit's reversed, going crazy, with defensive and or guarded, the Magician reversed, with insecurities or lack of tools or manipulations. Two Virgos reversed here, at war and peace, with conditions of love and hidden things. Or Hermit reversed with King of Cups reversed, which is conditions of love as well, and the Magician reversed, defensive of their failures and or neediness. The central energy is the Two of Pentacles reversed, not surrendering and frustrated by the Knight of Wands rushing in from draining kids, or Leo reversed and Empress reversed, recovering from injury and or illness. That can be exile as well, or them running in or getting called for every little thing. So again, that comes up with the Emperor too, running back in as soon as somebody wants something. So it's coming up as the kids and the Empress reversed. Not like being supposed to be on their own, but not, like calling the Emperor for every little thing. That's what was coming up again. The Page of Wands reversed and the Ace of Wands reversed, totally uninspired, frustrated, with no understanding, challenged by the World reversed. With the Six of Cups, soulmates, kids, or twins, loving each other, but perhaps with bad news coming in. The Chariot in a bold move to take a break, a rest, or meditate in 5D, or cancer treatment, chemo, or radiation, seeing synchronicities and choices. Stopping or shopping, or looking at films, or divine feminine in the 5D world, or how to close the cycle here. The Knight of Cups reversed is choosing a path of rejecting the path chosen by the Queen of Wands reversed. Or the Knight of Cups reversed here is choosing a path or rejecting the path chosen by the Queen of Wands. They're both reversed here though. And that could be two older kids too, the Knight of Cups reversed and the Queen of Wands reversed. It can be a couple as well. It can be any two people really. The High Priestess reversed, secret passion, offers of love, is causing internal conflict. Sharing sadness, addictions, meals, and dating. The Knight of Pentacles offering help, standing up for themselves, even a hug in disconnect or at a distance. And the Knight of Pentacles offering help to the King of Pentacles, awake, in disconnect, not seeing eye to eye, or at a distance, unable to see face to face. Standing up, tripping up, standing up to trip up performer. So it's like the King of Pentacles awake in the disconnect or distance, but now standing up to trip up performer or make them drop the act, or sending in the clowns to break patterns here. Now in the crowning moment here, in the now moment, is the shadow reversed, the detoxing of chaos or doing shadow work. Can be a Capricorn reversed with the truth coming in to awaken to a higher love. So now with that shadow detox or Capricorn reversed, the secret passion of Pisces reversed, and the Knight of Pentacles needing courage to offer help to the King of Wands, which is that shaman energy, or one with Leo in their chart. Or just feeling weak and unstable, moving, visiting, leaving a marriage, or the party's just over, with Capricorn reversed, Sag upright, Pisces reversed, and Leo reversed here. Pisces reversed may be sharing their feelings of weakness, purging, catching their triggers, and reactions to things, and really becoming aware of this and wanting to be a better person and not get triggered like that. So they're waking up, wanting a higher love and knowing that they are, right? And seeing that when they snap at somebody, that that's not who they are and that's not who they want to be. That could definitely be coming up for Pisces people here. The Seven of Pentacles reversed, awakening to casual sex, or perhaps people becoming aware of why they're entertaining certain things in their lives, what's good for them, what's not good for them. But the Seven of Pentacles reversed, awake to casual sex or casual flirtations as well, or unsavory partners, and without a leg to stand on, in need of sunshine, energy, or a bold move to their dreams and synchronicities, in a two-bold split, divorce, or break from a religion establishment, societal norms, and or a break away from being silenced by others. So with Capricorn reversed, dropping the ball, no longer juggling, performing, or now breaking patterns, the facade, the act, now that the worst is over and the bliss is setting in, of walking away and within, perhaps not seeing eye to eye, and with a new opportunity or an invitation, or not agreeing with this new opportunity, dissatisfied with the Queen of Swords reversed, detoxing chaos, or perhaps bitching out the Capricorn reversed, or they're bitchy because they're going through detox, so they're just a little cranky there, to become sovereign, to become single and dependent on themselves, become independent, with the King of Pentacles reversed, standing his ground and fending off others, but he's reversed. Capricorn reversed, Leo reversed, Cancer upright, Taurus reversed, all here, and the King of Pentacles reversed, perhaps with two kids, because we have the Page of Pentacles and the Sovereign, the Nine of Pentacles, both upright, and the King of Pentacles then reversed. He defending their wealth and stability, or defending himself as to why he puts their welfare before his own, or keeping them in a lifestyle to which they've become accustomed, while he is losing money and status and suffering, or being superficially minded. The Page of Pentacles may be a Leo, or have Leo in their chart, or just may be a very low-key child, the good student. The Queen of Swords reversed could be Cancer upright, and the Sovereign and the King of Pentacles reversed could be with Capricorn and or Taurus in their chart, so very earthy. Cancer could be detoxing negative self-talk and self-sabotage, and soon here for the twins is the Hanging Man reversed, seeing synchronicities of the Divine Feminine in the 5D, connected to sleep and the 5D meditation, awake and at work looking back at holding on, grounding and saving, and keeping finances to themselves and sharing with the Page of Wands reversed, who may be suffering in silence, or settling out and frustrated with no sleep and or nightmares. All right, so this is coming up around the Hangman. And that it could be like it's like the Divine Masculine working, connected to the Divine Feminine in the 5D, but not quite understanding all of it, but seeing the synchronicities and looking back and trying to understand. This is the masculine and the Hangman energy of awakening, working to align and awaken. Unstable home with the Knight of Swords rushing in to the Ten of Cups, emotionally fulfilled family or happy ending, or that could be the sham fam as well, the way they look on the outside, but is it really on the inside? Or moving or visiting and getting word quickly to the Ten of Cups family, perhaps that they must leave or get out now. That could be as well. Twin flames coming up here, seeing themselves as the Star card upright, healed, shining, dreams come true, hostages of the King of Wands, that shaman energy, yet the Six of Cups is upright, the kids, soulmates and twins, the inner children loving each other, loving each other's inner child and offering a new life, the gold coin, which is the Christ consciousness, the unity consciousness, the time, money, and effort, the life of perfect contentment and peace, reveals new information and clarity, but may also knock them off balance. Divorce and injustice, or redcoats fall, and this is all still on how the twins see themselves. Divorce and injustice, or redcoats fall, religion and justice system, spiritual injustice clear, Or Taurus reversed, knocked for a loop, and Libra reversed, imprisoned by the King of Wands. Or the King of Wands is the prisoner of both systems, the religious system and the justice system. Or innocent love and light, bringing the dark up to the surface to be seen. Perhaps arrests to be made at 11:04, which is justice and the 4 of the Emperor, both reversed here. So the injustice of the Emperor reversed, or because of the Emperor reversed, right? The fall of the Emperor is the business realm, right? But the Emperor's not coming up on the twin spot, only the Justice and the Hierophant card, which has to do with religion and the justice system. So that's specific to the twins here. But also the stars coming up here with the age of Aquarius and shining their lights and allowing their dreams to come out and come true. So the 6 of Cups is there upright with the twins. That can also reference your children getting along and loving each other, or your best friend, anything where the children or inner or outer children are loving each other and offering a new life, which may then knock someone off balance. It can knock off balance. All of this light that they're emanating is causing the dark to be seen of these religious and justice bodies that may now be seen by the divine masculine, because he has no choice, because now the light is shedding light on the dark and you can't avoid it anymore. It's like right in their face. That's the energy that's coming up right there with the star, right? It's so bright you can't possibly miss it anymore. That's the energy coming up right there. So today is the 18th, the 18 of the moon, and the day adds up to 24, which is the 6 of the Queen of Wands. But 24 is also the omega, the end of the Greek alphabet. And for me, that's the end of karma on a local level, whereas 81 is like around the world. So we have the moon and the Queen of Wands, and she was reversed in the read. The moon was upright. Okay. So there is some definitely illumination, perhaps not full illumination, though, to the extent of the Queen of Wands. That could be perhaps because she's in the negative position. And she is behind the love sign too, right there. You see the Queen of Wands. She's reversed also there. I just don't deal that deck in reversals. So continuing on with the read, we have at 11:05 Justice and the Hierophant, which we just talked about, and now it's the time, 11:05. I didn't notice that before. Those two had just come up reversed. So love yourself first, playfulness, unrequited love, and free yourself all came up for the twins here. It's time to take back control of your life. Around the twin flames, or between them first, is the Knight of Pentacles upright, offering help to the 10 of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, or legacy. Between the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, who are both reversed, but the 10 of Pentacles is reversed in between them. It's basically coming up as feeding the beast, so to speak, unknowingly strengthening the wedge between them by the Knight of Pentacles feeding the 10 of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or legacy, with the Queen of Pentacles on the other side. So the Knight trying to get to the Queen, but unknowingly feeding the beast that's the wedge between them. Or offering help, money, and opportunity, or condolences to the 10 of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, of the Queen of Pentacles. And around the twins are how they're seen. Did I not show you this? I can't even remember if I did or not. So I'm showing it to you again if I did already, because now I can't remember if I did. This is the full read in front of you. Okay. It's at 38:38 that I put that up. So you can, if you want to comment, put that in the comments, you can. Okay, so it's 1:59 on my clock right now, which is the 11th hour, right? It's right before 2 o'clock. And 10 and 2 just came up again. Around the twins, or between them, I just explained that all to you. But around them is the 4 of Cups upright. The 4 of Cups in the SIRIAN Starseed deck is literally someone sitting on a rock in the middle of rough ocean waters, right? With another little rock coming up across from them. How are they going to get to that rock? The 4 of Cups upright in rough waters on an island unto themselves looking up. Death, end, dark night of the soul, transition, destined, and divine timing. A turn for the better here, with dreams come true and announcements, wake-up calls, with Scorpio upright, Libra upright, and Aquarius ×2. Rebirth into the age of Aquarius, able to quantum leap in a single bound at 11:11. All right, so this is where this starts to build up into my technical drawings that they gave me today. Rebirth into the age of Aquarius, able to quantum leap in a single bound at 11:11. The block being the Ace of Pentacles. What was it? It was just 39, I don't know, 39:44, something like that, but around 40 minutes. The 11:11 came up. So the block here being the Ace of Pentacles upright, the diamond in the rough exposed, two sovereign rocks in the middle of rough waves, standing strong on their own, one polished and one rough, one grail and one crystal rock to be deposited into that cup for cleanup and polishing, to feel brand new again. You make me feel brand new. So that came up right there. Two that are not far apart, but turbulent waves are between. Requires a leap of faith that turbulent waves are just emotions of others with wounds coming up, like the baby spitting up on you, a hiccup. The frog, warts and all, at 11:17, which is justice and the star. So injustice coming up on the twin flame card, and the star is the twin flame card. The pain of delivery from womb to breath, deep sea diving and coming up for air. Thank God, right? When you finally can breathe. This is bliss, relief, pain being taken away. The Spirit's connecting with me. The relationship change, love, physical activity, and adventure coming up here, specific to that. Purging, dumping a load, overwhelm and sweating it out, being patient with those with attitude and those who think they have your best interest at heart as they pass you your next drink, potion, or kiss with a hook or expectation. Twin flames standing side by side with space between, a buffer, boundary, space to breathe in and out as your chest expands. Dumping a load, a burden, responsibility, dumping weight or the world, confessing release, an emotional load off your back in the physical release. The physical and emotional combined release is that of the twin flame lovers. Sweating it out to the oldies, right? Going back, looking back at the oldies, the old wounds, pushing to the limit to reduce all the swelling without responsibilities or stress, without covering up. Just you, naked before God, is all it takes. Authentically you in your birthday suit, without a care in the world, yet all encompassing and loving at the same time. The twin flames, after being silenced, awakened and separated by differences or distances, standing up for self, drawing the line with others to be clear about where they stand and how much they will stand for. The twin flames amidst standing strong amidst turbulent waves at 11:28, which is justice and the twin flames. The 28 is the choice of path. And yet untouched in these turbulent waves, in need of sun to reboot, alchemizing with vulnerability, rejection, the wounded child, unhappy alone, unable to give love, with the King of Wands shaman, and then that 70s show came up. So this starts all my diagrams. So the King of Wands shaman, or that 70s show, well, that comes up regarding the hippie. And hip just came up as a word defined as the fruit of a rose, right? So being hippie, fruit of a rosy, right? So fruity and rosy, both fruity perfumes and floral perfumes or scents, the scent of a woman that only blind men see, and orphans, losing the parents, the divine feminine inverted triangle. So now start picturing as I'm describing this. Losing the parents, the divine feminine inverted triangle, right? The parents at the top, the 2 points of the triangle at the top, have a child. That's the point of the upside down divine feminine triangle. 2 parents have a child. Then they must become the child as the children become the parents, right? So now you have the masculine triangle beneath that, right? The child, then the parent becomes the child as the children at the bottom become the parents. So then you have the masculine triangle beneath the feminine triangle, the hourglass of tip to tip, third eye to third eye, the waist of a woman when not coming face to face or eye to eye. So the first picture they're giving me is that of the, if I can find where I drew it here. Where are you? Oh, there it is. Okay. So the first picture here is the divine feminine triangle. Sorry, it's not very focused there. Okay, so divine feminine triangle's here. Here's the divine masculine triangle, and as they come together, right, the two parents to the child, and then the child becoming a child again as their children become the parents. And this becomes the hourglass, right, which is also the vortex of the toroidal field, okay, right? The toroidal field with the apple cheeks on either side. So this is the beginning of what they're showing me. So like the valves in the veins, so imagine that hourglass is like the vein in between the two valves, right? Because as we get into the valve, it's the bottom of the triangles meet, right? Because it becomes the diamond or the cone type energy there. So like the valves and the veins that meet back to back, right? Because that's the valve. When we meet back to back, the two bottoms of the triangles meet. But when the points meet tip to tip, that's the vortex between there. The couple to couple is the back to back. At the point is the child that takes the journey up to the next valve point, the divine feminine child, the node point. There is always a journey between the two valves. For at the valve, the two become diamonds. Okay, so the valve is like the diamond. It's just soft edges versus hard edges. And remember, there are no real edges because we're not really matter, we're space, right? So as they were bringing this energy together, this is how they were expanding on it. I'm going to try to show you this the best I can from my pictures here. All right, so this is the line where it develops, okay? So here is the divine feminine triangle, the divine masculine triangle, as they come together in the hourglass and the vortex of the toroidal field with the apple cheeks on either side, right? So this would be the butt of the apple, and then the up here would be the stem that falls off the tree. So here is that hourglass here, and then you see how it expands into the toroidal fields. Here's the vortex, and then it shows you how this goes into diamond energy again. Both diamonds, but this is the upper body of the person is the feminine energy, right? Because that's the upper chakra systems. The lower diamond is the masculine energy because it's the lower chakra systems, the 3D and 5D. Okay, here's the vortex, and this is the toroidal field or the torus, right? Here's the apples of the torus, and here's the vortex flowing in between. So then they wanted me to turn this hourglass on its side to show you how it works in the chain of events and how this parallels with the sine wave. So here's the sine wave that goes along the diamond light, okay? So as Magenta said, when we're up, this is the age of Aquarius when we're in light, and when the sine wave is below the line, just like the heartbeat, we're in the negative age. So, right, the divine feminine is brought into the dark in the dark age of Pisces, and as we go into Aquarius is the light age, where the divine masculine is brought into the light. So then I show you the square that I just showed you the other day, where you can either repeat patterns in one circle, or you can move to the next circle and learn this lesson and then learn this lesson over here. Or I was showing you can quantum leap from square to square, but they're showing me here it's really diagonal where the leap comes in. Okay? So as we look at that square then, which remember, the square is just a diamond. The square is just that diamond as an eighth a turn, because if you do a quarter turn, it's just going to become a square again, right? It's going to plop onto the next side. But here, the eighth of turn, or the 8 of the dance, the infinity symbol, becomes the diamond and then the Fibonacci sequence, which is, right, the square and then made squares and then made squares until you get to these little tiny squares. That's the Fibonacci sequence. The separation by 6 was coming up here, and the Fibonacci sequence, this was page 7, but we also talked about these 70s shows, and then they're showing me all of the numbers coming up. We have the 1/8 dance over here. So we had the 1 over the 8 of the 1, and the 2 valves as the 2 become diamond. Then we have the 3D and the 5D. And then the separation by 6 and page 7, the 8 of the dance. And then the only thing that was missing was the 4 and the 9. So so as far as the X and the plus sign, you see that if you're looking at the square shape here, it's going on an angle here, right? So that would make an X. But as you put it on its tail, where you're now balancing, doing the balancing act, the dance, now it becomes the plus sign. And that was what they were trying to get to me the other day. It is like an X if you're here in the square, but you don't want to be this. This is when you're stuck in the square. That's a block. When you're in the diamond energy, that's when you're keeping the energy going. And this is where the plus sign is in the middle. And then they were showing me the quantum leap of horizontally space to space, or vertically third eye to third eye, which here is the human, right? Third eye, here's the womb, here's the third eye in the mouth, the womb and the vaginal opening, right? So also this represents the feminine and the masculine, third eye to third eye leap, or space to space, because this is the toroidal field on either side of them. So there's 2 ways of quantum leaping there. Space to space, or third eye to third eye. The space to space was coming up face to face. Third eye to third eye is eye to eye, obviously. From the square to the diamond is 1/8 of a turn, or the dance. And then being on the point, on the diamond, you're balancing on that one little point. So you have to stay balanced and keep moving. It's not stalemated like the square. Being on point is the balancing act. Also, I was then seeing the toroidal field. You know how the apple is closed end on the bottom, right? The top is how it grew out of the tree with the stem. But the other side's closed, so it's a closed field when it's growing, right? It's not open until you pick the apple from the tree. That's when the energy then is released from the apple. But the other side's always closed. So it's showing me as the bottom of the apple, or the bottom of the diamond, or the toroidal field is the grounded, the closed part of the apple. That's why the divine masculine energy, which is in both of us, is the 3D, right? The grounded energy. And then the top, which gets picked from the tree, is the divine feminine tree, which is still connected with the etheric realms. And that's the masculine and feminine within each of us, okay? It's not just one or the other. It's not a sexist thing, okay? So then the only 2 numbers that didn't come up here in the sequence of 1 through 9 were numbers 4 and 9, which they were showing me as the twins. 4, 9, and then 9 was coming up as God yesterday because it's the lowercase g. The 4 is the emperor, which I always say is God. So it's coming up as the God number 49, which is the Get Your Wish card. It was saying, and that was giving me 2 for 9 is 4.5, which is the center point of the numbers. Right, so because the number cycle is 9, half of that's 4.5, which is the 5 of Cups, which is the grieving card, right? Grieving your wounds. The center point, grieving loss, regret in the past, or purging your wounds, is the center point where we are right now, what we're doing. The 49 also represents the number 4, and G of God, for God. Get your wish, the 49, the 9 of Cups, the Get Your Wish card. And then they were showing me to divide the 9 into 4 parts, because we have 4 and 9, which would be 2.25, which can be the High Priestess and the Knight of Wands, the secret and that passion rushing in, but also 225 can be the Fool and the Hierophant, which is the Fool's journey back to God, freedom and expansion, getting your wish. 1 surrenders, 1 confesses, 1 ends the battle, 1 stops working so hard to resist. All right, so there's my message there for the downloads of the symbols that I got. So continuing on with the read at 1227, which is the Hangman and the 27 of the Ace of Wands, the 3 of Cups reversed in social distancing, negative influences, gossip, or third parties. The Page of Pentacles, opportunity or invitation for work or co-creation with or without the Empress reversed or lack of abundance, or Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, dysfunction or loss of money or family, working to align by presenting the truth of dreams, healing, shining your light, even if an island unto self, looking up for 5D messages from the Knight of Swords, messenger of truth, with trouble surrendering all control and choices, and challenged by the world, ascension, ego, and awakening to the diamond in the rough. Rough, taking in this diamond light, doing shadow work as or with twin flames, in need of sunshine to merge vulnerabilities and dissatisfactions with the King of Wands shaman, that 70s show, and then hide came up. So this has to do with hiding. But also, so hide and seek came up right here with Hyde's name. And remember that seek is see with K, which is to see the energy. So hide and seek. So go within and see the energy, hide and seek. Seek and you shall find. Sound and music of the spheres, the orbs, blind men and orphans with extra sensory perception. Working to align with the Knight of Swords, 5D messages in a bubble to the King of Wands. The whole truth of surrender to detox chaos and do shadow work, challenged by ascending world, a ride on Gaia. The star awake and shining bright, the star of Bethlehem, into that good night. And then I was guided to look up that 70 show to see what was going on, and the first message was about Tanya Roberts, who just passed away. So Tanya Roberts, who was the mom, right? Tanya Roberts, Bond Girl, and that 70s show star. She was also Charlie's Angels. Dies at age 65 after premature announcement. That was the title of the article on January 5th, 21. I don't know the cause of death. It wasn't COVID, according to the article. And then also Robin Kelly came up. This was a death from back in 13. She was Eric's older sister in the show. She was born March 5th, 70 to 8/15/13, and she died of an overdose. So coming back to the read, spiraling and trapped, which obviously was just relating to that kind of energy, an island unto self, offering a new life in rebirth to the twin flames in need of light and sun, and patience with rejection and dissatisfaction and not getting their wish, with the King of Wands upright, the hippie. And again, the hip was coming up as the fruit of the rose, but also the hippie from that 70s show would be then Danny Masterson, who's been undergoing a suit case about rape and Scientology since it's been years. I think it started in 13 or something like that. But this was coming up again. Stephen, his name is Danny Masterson, his real name. So his arraignment was pushed again to 2021. On December 31st, 20, from MSN.com, 4 rape accusers are suing him and the Church of Scientology and David Miscavige for covering up his actions, that they have been systematically stalked, harassed, invaded, having their privacy invaded, to cause distress, silence, and to intimidate them. After Bixler reports sex assault to the LAPD in 2016, she was labeled as the quote-unquote SP, or suppressive person, by the Church of Scientology. 2017, her dog died suddenly from injuries to its trachea and esophagus for no reason, and a Scientology agent, she said, she claims threatened to rape and drug her 5-year-old twins, etc. So that goes on and on and on. So back to the read: Leo reversed, Gemini upright, Sag upright, and Capricorn reversed, and Pisces reversed too, perhaps a child. And then Bethlehem was coming up again as the hem, because hemming and hawing was coming up yesterday. And the hem as the boundary, right? The horizon, right? The boundaries we make around the space around our bodies, that we need space to breathe. Right? And so that horizon line is this, the horizon is that space line for Gaia. And we need that same space, that toroidal field, that space between us, right? To give us a nice little buffer and comfort in order to be our best and be in love with each other. So that was coming up again as well. Okay, so that was the read. I'm going to pull a few cards for you guys. I hope you understood all of my diagrams there. It's pretty cool how it was bringing everything together. You know, the valves, the quantum leaping, the person, the upper hourglass being the feminine or the upper chakras, and the lower being the masculine, feminine, lower chakras, which I always say the masculine's the groundkeeper of the 3D portal. The feminine is the gatekeeper of the 5D portal, which ties into all of that. And then the sine wave being the rounded of the diamond, same shape, which I always show the difference between the diamonds coming together, and then the vein valves, which would be the rounded shape. So all of that was coming together, and then the diamond breaking down into more diamonds inside of each other, infinitely, you know, going in within, which is then the Fibonacci sequence. So really cool stuff coming up to try to bridge everything together. So if anything comes up for you because of what I've told you, please let me know in the comments. So for everybody watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know and learn from the read I just presented? And let's clear all blocks to positive energy flow, diamond light. Clear all blocks to positive energy flow in all chakra layers, auric layers, grounding and galactic cords across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and reality for the highest good of all those concerned. And fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's see what comes up from the energy deck. Whoop, as it just falls apart. All right, and this came right up, the 8 of the dance, the indecision, right? And again, the quantum leap. When you're stuck, and what came up the other day was turn around every now and then. So that was coming up. The turnaround was coming up from, I've been getting that through the song, but also through channeling with Sananda or Jesus, that website. It's 2:22 on the clock. When she was channeling Jesus, Jesus was saying, you know, when you get stuck at the Y in the road, turn around. When you come up to the wall, turn around. You still have 180 degrees of things to choose from, right? So the indecision, there's no reason to get stuck. When you can't go this way or this way, just turn around or go sideways or go up as well in the quantum leap. We have the 38 of the Queen of Cups also coming up here, the 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael. And this was reversed, so no longer being stuck at the Y in road, turn around and go the other way, because the Strength card was reversed in this read. The Queen of Cups, she's reversed as well. All right, so the 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael, and that might be referencing the heart stress that I've been feeling, that the Queen of Cups reversed, because it's focused on the heart chakra. So you may be struggling with that a little bit. And then we have the 53 of the Knight of Swords, which was very significant in the read. The Knight of Swords, the messenger of truth, the sending 5D messages, but also God, the God energy, or the Emperor energy, the parent energy, doing all they can, using their energy. But, you know, this is like someone being woken up in the middle of the night. The 53 was upright here. I just want to get a little feeling for this here. I'm getting it's like, you know, it's God telling us, you know, it's they've done work for you, but now it's like someone leaving the business too, like they came up in the read. Now it's time for them to do it on their own. It's time for us to do it on our own without our guides, right? Because you are your own guidance. That's the message I'm getting right there. Right, you've been given the path. You have the temple path, the 12, the wisdom to see the difference, to see a new perspective when you don't see a way forward. So the underlying energy here again is the healer of the ages. Again, you have 2 men, the Jesus type energy, and then the God type energy behind here. Okay, it's like the father and son. Okay, that you both have the power. It's all the same. It's just a matter of father and child, which then becomes the child again anyway, according to what we just read, right? The parent becomes the child again. It's all, we're all one with the other. It's just the cycle of death and rebirth, the rebirthing cycle. And then the 51 of the King of Swords, and the needing to rebalance when they're upside down and feeling insecure or negative self-talk. It's saying turn around and see your other options. They're always there, of course. Sometimes the other option might just be to be still as well. So let's see what Scooby-Doo says here. Patience. I forgot I'd put these 3 cards aside because these came up from the read as well. The cards that I put up here, back here, and then the 2 back here, which is the 9 and 10 of Wands, which came up in the read. These 2 I put aside too because I couldn't fit up there. But these are all upright, right? The higher love, the patience of being love and offering love to the King of Wands here, who came up at the end of the read as that shaman energy. And the need for patience in bringing love to this person. And there may be a little lizard on their platform as well, eyeing their money clip slippers there. But they're all upright. The higher love of offering love between the Knight of Cups and the King of Wands, the Man of Passion. And there's Sagittarius energy there, right there too. So in this read, he could definitely come up. It's mostly between Leo and Sagittarius. It wasn't much about Aries for the King of Wands in this read today. But let's see what Scooby-Doo has to say. Nine of Pentacles is the Sovereign. Being proud of yourself for being sovereign, for being independent. And then we have the 4 of Swords, which is reversed here. Upright. This is like when you're in another world in the 4 of Swords, because that is the connection in the 5D when it's upright, like sleeping or meditating in the 5D, being out of it, and then coming out of it, being proud of yourself, and then extending a hand. So when you're feeling off, don't do anything. And then you have the 5 of Wands, which is that expansion again. When you're ready to fight for the pursuit of happiness and extend yourself again, then you can do that. But when you're feeling off, it's time to rest first. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles. So this is coming up as the 10 of Pentacles reversed family, having issues, and then being able to extend a hand to them. So it's like you guys being prepared in your sovereignty and knowing when you're off to take a step back to then extend a hand to those who are going to be in need of your help now, right? Helping your families out. So the bottom of the deck is the Page of Swords reversed, and that can be that self-sabotage, negative self-talk, a child with a mouth, negative messages, spying, lying, all of that kind of energy. Very childish. It's the most immature card of the deck when this is reversed, okay? Going from this, of the Ace of Pentacles, which is pure contentment in your authenticity, and then going into very childish words, immaturity, which are very hurtful as well. So it's just, this is the underlying energy. So saying coming out of immature words and thoughts and deeds, and being proud of yourself for coming all this way into your sovereignty. So give yourself a pat on the back there, or a pat on the wing. And then let's see what the Journey of Love has to say. What is our takeaway from this read today? Oh, there's 2. They didn't want to go back in. Let the feminine lead the way, 39, which is that Knight of Cups, and 44, which is the 4 of Cups, grounding and integrating and mastering of love. And I would see this as like Thoth in a wheelchair. It reminds me of my father, because he was in a wheelchair when he died. And his dry sense of humor always reminded me of the Thoth energy I get, and that dry sense of humor. But again, here's the feminine coming up because it's a breast here. And my mother just passed, and she was also in a wheelchair for different reasons, right? Hers was mental issues with Alzheimer's. My father was all physical. He didn't have Alzheimer's. So the energy is coming up here regarding the feminine in the same place in the rings of time, and that can reference marriage. And I'm just bringing up my mother and my father. They were both Geminis. They were 7 years and 7 days apart. So it's very much about that twin energy of the Gemini and the twins. And then here we have the being love of the 39, right? And also this can represent the children. Let the feminine lead the way, and being love, because it's natural for the feminine to be more in touch with her emotions. And I'm getting like the extension. You see how it kind of flows into one another, the two pictures? It's like the extension of the mother. And we're just talking about as the parent gets old, they become the child again. And then the children become the parents. And so on and so on. And you see the circles of energy. It's like the cycle of life is the energy that's coming up there. Okay, so the bottom. Let's see what else wants to come up here. All right, so just 4 more cards want to come up. So that's 6 altogether. And then we have the bottom, which is the breaking of 65, which is the King of Pentacles, who was reversed in the read. The breaking of the King of Pentacles, right? The conflict in the vortex, right? Here's where you're breaking through, where some of the waves get through to the center of the tunnel. There's a crack in the cyclone, and then the waves get inside. This is the breaking of it, right? When the waves crash at 65. And that could be the age 65 too. Wasn't that what she died at 65, didn't she? Yep, dies at 65. So that was coming up as that was the age of Tanya Roberts. Okay, so that's coming up again. 63 is the suffering and silence. It's coming up on here, the parenting card, which is suffering and silence in the light field. So there's a lot of energy coming in right now. So it's telling you it's rough right now. Okay. The diamond in the rough, the diamond light is very difficult right now. You see the bridge? And just sitting in the middle of the vortex, right? The sine wave of the pinnacle of the light as we ascend up in the light field. The breaking of us. Breaking away from the control of the masculine into the more feminine energy as we go above. And remembering that the 0 point is the line between, right? It's not up or below, it's the center point. So I'm going to read those two. I'm going to show you the other 4 cards that came up. We have 14 of falling, which is the temperance card, the angels, the higher love, and then dream a little with the 51 of the King of Swords, but also coming up with feminine energy and the Shokore energy, and also the Fibonacci sequence there. And then the 28 of the twin flames, the 2 wands, the sacred convergence of the twins, and the roughness of the energy and coming together, and then the beauty of it all, of the 58, right? The 5D connection. Light as a feather, dream a little dream of you. 65, oh, that's so funny. They told me to add, and these two are 65 again. All right, so 65 of the King of Pentacles, but also Tanya came up. And then we have, these two are 86. Oh, 86 it. 86. 151, so it's 151 altogether. I think I'm adding that right. So again, the 51's coming up is very significant, which is right here. The King of Wands. The 1 of the Magician, the 51 of the King of Wands. The lightness of falling, light as a feather. Keep your heart light and dream a little dream of you. The Shokore, the music, the note, right? The G clef. The sacred convergence. And again, remember this card is the one with where the twin towers went down, and I was seeing like it's a pit where the pit all of a sudden ascends there's ETs there or masters coming in to meet with us. And then the beauty of it all, of the 5D connection, heaven on earth. All right, so there's 6 cards here, which of course is lovers, with the 2 and the 4 of the High Priestess and the Emperor. Let the feminine lead the way is 39, which is the Knight of Cups. 39. The feminine principle in you, whether man or woman, is the way forward in your life now. She is the principle of feeling and surrender. She feels the intelligence of the divine guiding light in a way that the masculine principle cannot at this time. You may not see where you're going, therefore, but you can feel your way forward. Trust her. Let your mind go and let your senses lead you, becoming more exquisite and communicative. And that came up in the read too about the masculine and the ESP. Be led by your heart. Don't worry if you don't know all the details yet or how it's going to work out. She knows the way. Let her lead. This oracle brings confirmation to you that what you have been feeling or sensing, even without logical physical evidence, is worth following up on. Trust your senses over appearances. Trust your intuition over your intellect. You are letting feminine wisdom guide you, and she will steer you in the best direction. The poem reads, my coming out is the freedom to fully be who I am, and the surrender to the divine essence, expressing through and around me. My coming out is the marriage of twin souls with my life partner, in gratitude, in love, unfolding as more than we could ever be on our own. Drink your water, get your rest, joy in nature, rise and be loved. Bye.